Good afternoon. I hope everyone's having a great day. This is attorney Jamie Miller from Miller and Miller, and I'm excited today to have one of my favorite people join me. Mr. Guston is a mortgage broker and is in the mortgage business, but also is a past client of Miller and Miller and had a real good experience with the bankruptcy process. And I wanted to introduce Guston in a couple seconds. But what I wanted to chat about for a moment, a lot of times people that are interested in filing, bankruptcy have a lot of fear, and I totally understand that. And it's really important for people at Miller and Miller clients that come to us to really understand that we take the fear out of the process, and that we're really here to help people get rid of their debt, which is important. But even more important, we want to help people get over their fears and get their cases filed and get their credit scores up to 720. The first step in the process is to file the bankruptcy, resolve the issues, resolve your credit problems. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we want you to exit from the bankruptcy in a better place than where you started. And we want to make sure that we get you that 720 credit score. And having Guston on as a guest today is going to help us to amplify the impact that bankruptcy, the positive impact that bankruptcy can have on people, and how we at Miller and Miller work really hard to make the process as smooth as possible and as welcoming and as easy as possible. So with that being said, I'd like to thank Guston. And how are you doing, Guston?
Hello, Mr. Miller. Pleasure to be here.
It's so nice to have you. You and I have known each other for a couple years now, and tell me a little bit about what you're doing right now.
Well, I'm a mortgage broker. I've been a mortgage broker for 10 years. I specialize in tougher to do deals. 75% of our borrowers are people that cannot qualify at other lenders. So I'm very familiar with a lot of my clients. They have a prior bankruptcy or in a Chapter 13. So, one of the issues I had is I knew I had to file Chapter 7 back in 2017. I had a hard time. I went through 4 different lawyers until I found you. So
let me stop you right there. Okay. But I want to go back and talk about one of the things that gives me such pleasure is to have clients that I meet, like Guston, but also to use them as a resource. And Guston is someone that we filed a bankruptcy for, I think, a couple years ago. Was it 2019?
Yes. I went to you in September 2019. You knocked everything out in 30 days, and I was surprised that you filed it in November of 2019.
Yeah, so we got your bankruptcy filed in 2019, but it's already April of 2022. And I've had consistent contact with Guston over the last couple years, 3 years, not only because I consider him a friend, but also I consider him a professional colleague. So he's got to a point where his credit has come back, but he's also built up his business to the point where I'm really proud to be able to send my clients to Guston so that he's able to help them to rebuild their credit, but also get loans and mortgages to buy the houses of their dreams. And I think what I'd like to start talking about a little bit is, just briefly in 2019, tell me a little bit about the type of debts that you had and what brought you to consider even filing bankruptcy in the first place.
Well, I live in Wisconsin. My office is in Illinois. I could not get licensed in Wisconsin because every single state, they got their own little rules with credit. You got to be financially responsible. Wisconsin will not give me a license, my home state, because I had outstanding judgments. Now, I
And
was
what did
eligible to get licensed in all 50 states, but I was limited to 8.
right.
And
So what was you had judgments, and what type of judgments were they?
they were from, I used to own 7 apartment complexes back in 2008. So it was, I got repossessed and, it was business judgments, from my real estate business. So
Okay.
they wouldn't go away. Judgments and tax liens is the worst thing you can have. So
Right. So you were, when you came to us in 2019, and I was looking at your bankruptcy petition, you had a lot of judgments that were against your business, and you had a lot of judgments that were against you personally, and that debt was really holding you back.
36 million worth of outstanding judgments and bad debt. And the past 4, before I came to you, 4 different lawyers said they couldn't do it. And here you are, piece of cake, no problem. I go, what's the catch? If it's something too good to be true, then it is. And sure enough, you came through and you have changed my life. And thank you. I'll be
Well,
forever
I,
indebted.
well, I appreciate you. You've actually changed your life, and we are. We look at our relationship with our clients and as a partnership, and I'm really proud of what you've accomplished, and you deserve the credit for that. We can kind of lead you to water, but it's really important that our clients take action on their own. And I appreciate your kind words. And so before you came to me, before we met in, I think, 2018, 2019, you had met with some other lawyers about filing bankruptcy. And what was that experience like?
4 different lawyers, even lawyers on TV. I call them. And then they ask me certain questions. Okay, over the phone, no problem. Once I meet them, they go, "Oh, you know what? You're over $1 million in debt. We don't handle that. That's a big issue." 4 different lawyers. So
And
you were highly recommended, and I came to you. I was about to give up. So. But I came to you, and the answers that you gave me, it just seemed too good to be true. And then I'm figuring, is this guy for real? Not only were you knowledgeable, you're a professional, and you were reasonable. I mean, it was just amazing. In 30 days, literally, you knocked everything out. So.
And did you were you surprised that we were able to get the case filed for you so quickly?
You know what? I know that if it's too good to see, I do this for a living. I mean, I dealt with many bankruptcy cases, lawyers, trustees. 30% of my business are people in a bankruptcy or after they got discharged or late payments for a bankruptcy. It was just amazing, and I have absolutely nothing to be ashamed of with the bankruptcy because it is out there to help you. Within a year, my credit went to 700. A lot of times it's because I know what to do. You don't need a credit repair company. You just need a good bankruptcy lawyer that knows what they're doing. And I agree with you. You got to kind of help yourself, but the bankruptcy lawyer will lay a foundation. You can build the most expensive house in the world if the foundation is not solid, that thing's going to crumble.
Right.
And that's what you helped me for.
And you had a large amount of debt, and I can say that most of our clients don't have net debt that high. And your case was a little bit much more complicated than most. And I'm proud to say that we were able to help you. And I feel good that you and I have had so much interaction. But what was your experience working with our staff here?
Amazing. Just amazing. And just because my case was a little bit unusual, you went above and beyond. And let me share with your viewers this case. At that time was not the housing market was not as crazy as it's now. So you recommended, you know what, your assets may be over $1 million, so you may have to do a Chapter 11, all right, instead of Chapter 7. So you recommended that I get a BPO to see what my house is worth, and sure enough, my assets were below $1 million. You didn't ask me any for extra fees or anything like that. And because of the BPO coming lower than, what we expected the house to be, I was able to do a Chapter 7 and, versus a Chapter 11. So it just, your staff, they gave me a reminder call. Anytime I emailed you or Nicole or anybody from your staff, literally within 30 minutes, I got a response back, worst scenario before the end of the day, so I didn't have to call multiple times. Very professional,
Right. And one of the complaints that I get from clients, or one of the concerns I get, and especially since the bankruptcy laws changed way back in 2005, it made the bankruptcy filing process much more complicated. People complain about the documents that we need. So in every case, we need tax returns, we need pay stubs, we need bank statements, we need recorded mortgages and recorded deeds. And, we really try to make gathering that information as easy as possible. How was collecting in a complex case like yours? How hard was it to collect documents like that?
For me, I'm kind of used to it. But for your viewers, people in debt, okay, this is a life changer for you, okay? Miller and Miller Law can only do so much. If they request for a document, okay, you're going to have to provide the document because, without your cooperation, it doesn't matter, it can be Matlock, okay? There's no way in the world, okay, you're not going to get to, the filing date. So, it was kind of tough for me getting documents, but guess what? You got to go search your emails, whatever that you can get. Contact your bank, Chase. If you need help, contact, James Miller's office, and they'll direct you, where to go to get documents. Now, that is like in the mortgage business. You gotta operate,
You mentioned just a moment ago, Matlock. Is that a TV show you're referring to?
Or Perry Mason, So.
Perry Mason. You're dating yourself.
I am, yes.
Let's reference shows in the 1990s or the 2000s.
All right, got it.
You're so great. So the document collection process went okay. And Absolutely. Then in every case, we get the documents, we file your case, and then we have to go to court. Do you remember the day you went to court for your court hearing?
Yes. You introduced me to a lawyer. That attorney met me in the courthouse. I forgot that gentleman's name, but he was professional. He wanted me to go 15 minutes before we met the trustee. He pretty much briefed me of what the trustee's going to ask. Just tell him the truth. The trustee question and answer lasted no more than 5-10 minutes tops, and I was done. That's it,
And did you feel like you were well prepared for that meeting going in?
Yeah, absolutely. Because not only were we, did the attorney contact me, but before we went to actually the hearing, the client, the attorney from Miller and Miller and we went over what, the questions that's going to be asked, and so I was fully prepared. I wasn't even nervous at all. It was my wife and I, and then once it was over, that's it. Like a piece of cake.
And you had a really great experience, and I appreciate that. And and I appreciate you talking about it. And I don't want to minimize the challenges of, the nervousness about people of people going to court for their bankruptcies and those hearings. And what we've always found is the more prepared our clients are for those hearings, and the more that we hold their hand going through the process, the less fear there is. And things just go more smoothly. And I'm just so glad that you had that experience.
Yeah.
And
Could I interject real quick? Okay. You know, bankrupt, the public, views the word bankruptcy is such a bad thing. Oh my God. There's no way in the world. I can't, it's embarrassing. What a shame, but bankruptcy will change your life. Before me filing bankruptcy, I couldn't get a credit card. I couldn't get a car loan. Most importantly, it was affecting me professionally in being able to get licenses for my mortgage in the majority of the states in the country. All right. After the bankruptcy, I got 13 credit cards right now. Okay. I started out with secure credit cards, but I got to discover the $7,000 limit. They're all zero balance, Now, I got a car, a $50,000 car loan. I got financing for a motorhome. I mean, I'm not getting it, but I, I was going to get it. I got a second mortgage. I mean, it will change your life. I'm telling you. Okay. It's a federal law. All right. Out there to protect the consumer. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how rich you are. People go through hard times, so don't think it's bad. That's why I'm sharing my story, because just because you hear the word bankruptcy, it's out to help you. It'll change your life. And on another note, my final note is not all bankruptcy attorneys are created equally. Like I told you, I went through 4 different bankruptcy lawyers. I lost money on the last lawyer. I had to pay $5,000. Mr. Miller was half that. I was going to give him a tip, a bonus or something, but he wouldn't take it. But
I remember that. You tried to give me a tip.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I told you I'll buy your whole office lunch. I mean, it's just, it's beyond words to express my gratitude. And
sorry to interrupt you. The one thing I want to say is that in bankruptcy isn't as dark a word as it is. I mean, you had a great experience, and many of our clients do. And we're able to take them through the process and get them the 720 credit score. But I can tell you, I remember, and I was looking at my notes when you first came in and we first met in 2018, we sat down for about an hour and we looked at your situation. And bankruptcy isn't always the first option. It certainly can be one of the options, but we laid out several different options for you. And together we came to the conclusion that bankruptcy is the best option. Because as you probably know, Guston, and people you deal with in your business, you can probably tell them, listen, you need to file bankruptcy. You have $20,000 in debt, but you don't have to file bankruptcy. You can do debt negotiation. You can do a Chapter 128. You can do a Chapter 13. And, although bankruptcy can be the best step, it's not necessarily always the only step. And it worked out really well for you, which really is thrilling to me.
If you got large judgments or multiple judgments, and that judgment creditor renews that judgment, you're literally screwed. Okay, bankrupt. In my opinion, I'm not a lawyer, but I've been through enough bad credit clients that bankruptcy is pretty much your only option, because unless your judgment creditor is willing to settle pennies on the dollar, but if they find out you're buying a house or you need credit, they're not going to budge, so. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's interesting. The one thing that I see is, and the one thing we do with you, and we're continuing to do, is make sure that you're taken care of after the bankruptcy's done. So it's one thing to file the bankruptcy, and there's a lot of lawyers out there that will file the bankruptcy for you, but not all of us will make sure that we stand by our word that we want to help you get your credit score back. And we have a couple different programs that we utilize to help get the credit score back. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But the other thing is when you file bankruptcy, the bankruptcy is going to wipe out the debt. It's not going to necessarily take that debt off of your credit report. So one of the things that we do, and one of the things we worked really hard in Guston's case, was after the bankruptcy was done, we waited about 30 days and we went back and we pulled your credit report. And we found items on your credit report, and you are a very active credit report reviewer. You helped identify things on your credit report that needed to be fixed. And so if you wipe out, say you have a Capital One credit card, and you wipe out that Capital One credit card, if it doesn't reflect on your credit report that that debt has been discharged, it's still impacting your credit negatively. So at the end of the day, if I wipe out the debt, that's great. The creditor is not going to come collect from you. But unless we get it off your credit report, we're not going to be working with you to get that credit score to 720 and build the future. And then the other thing we're continuing to work with you is to satisfy judgments. So when a creditor sues you and they take a judgment against you, there's a myth out there that once you file bankruptcy and then once you get rid of that debt, that judgment automatically disappears. And that it just doesn't happen. And I think, Guston, are we working on getting a judgment satisfied still?
Yes. One of the things I like to, share with your viewers, Mr. Miller, is after I filed bankruptcy, I literally had hundreds of creditors. All right. We missed one of them. It was a judgment from 2008 in St. Louis County. I contacted Mr. Miller for a nominal fee. They go, you know what? It's okay if you don't, remember all your debts. We just have to re-amend your Chapter 7. Just the after service from credit repair, credit counseling to aftermarket service to additional services. I just can't commend you enough, Mr. Miller.
Well, I appreciate that. And then you did our credit restoration program, 7 Steps to 720.
Yes.
And worked with our partners at GAJP, and they helped to clean up your credit report. And tell me, we're now 2 years post your bankruptcy. What's your 2.5 years? What's your current credit score?
My credit score within the first year, it went over 700. And it's staying around, I would say 720. If I charge up my credit card, then it drops and goes back up. But it's always over 700. It is solid. I can get a mortgage now, no problem. 13 credit cards, 0 balance. Don't get into debt, okay? You don't want to have multiple bankruptcies here. But I got a car loan. My credit, I look at credit all day long. Okay. So very solid, never be late after bankruptcy. Always my suggestion is, be on auto pay. Don't trust the auto pay around November, December. Make sure that you pay your monthly fees or they take it out, because if you don't pay that, you're going to get a 30-day late, But Mr. Miller has helped me out with 7 Steps to 720. A lot of people after bankruptcy, they don't want no more credit, or they want nothing to do with credit, cash only. That's going to end up hurting you. You got to rebuild your credit for you to be able to get a job, licenses, a house, lower insurance premium. So start getting it, go with Mr. Miller's program, but also get yourself 3 to 5 secure credit cards, Yeah.
And a couple, closing notes as we kind of finish talking about how bankruptcy helped you. the bankruptcy world, like everything, has changed since COVID. And so we are in Milwaukee, we have an office in Green Bay and in Madison and Appleton and in Brookfield, and we have presence there in those communities so we can help people. But everything in a positive way has gone virtual. So we're able to help people file bankruptcy from anywhere across the state now. And we're able to do it over Zoom, like we're here today, via video conference, via telephone conference. We're able to have you sign your papers virtually through DocuSign or something similar. We're able to file your case without you ever coming into the office. And the great thing as well is that court is now virtual. So when Guston had to go to the federal courthouse here in Milwaukee, or I think you were in Kenosha,
Yeah.
You don't have to go to court. You can do it all virtually. So the whole process has become much more streamlined. And I'm really proud of the way that our team has taken these kind of COVID new rules that have come into place and adopted them in a way that makes this process easier for our clients. And I'm really excited about that.
I keep on joking with Mr. Miller that you need to franchise your system to all 50 states. So
I got,
but yeah. And one last mention, and I'll wrap this up. But bankruptcy is not just for people that are low class or bums. I got people that file, doctors, judges, police officers, attorneys, minimum wage workers. It hits anybody, everybody, especially when you go through a divorce. That's one of the cases where the ex-spouse charge up a lot of debt, and their only option literally when you get a bankruptcy discharge, you got yourself zero debts. Zero. Okay. So you get a fresh financial start in life. And I mean what I say, so.
Yeah. And you're right. The people that need to file bankruptcy come from a cross section of our world. And the one thing that I've noticed, and, sometimes it's thought that those that file bankruptcy are somehow irresponsible. And having done this for 30 years now, I can tell you that it's a rare occasion that the reason someone files bankruptcy is because irresponsibility. It isn't. It's because of a divorce, as you said, Guston. It's because of an accident. It's because of unemployment. It's because of COVID. I can't tell you the number of businesses that we've been able to help get through this time period with COVID just dramatically impacting their business. So, whether you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a nurse, you're whatever you do in this world, it's something that, if you're having problems with your debt, bankruptcy may not be the right thing for you. Bankruptcy may not be something that you want to do, but it's certainly going to be perhaps something on the list of options that we're going to give to you to consider. And I'm just grateful that Guston had the courage to come on today to tell his story. But taking that the next step, Guston, tell me a little bit about what you do for a living. I know you mentioned earlier that you're a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
What does that? What does that?
I manage my own branch, my own P&L. So I got a team of loan officers that I manage, processors here in Oak Brook Terrace. We're a national company. We have about 1,600 licensed loan officers nationwide. We're good in my branch is basically good in 48 states. So credit is very important for a loan officer to get licensed. Some states like Texas, Georgia, Wisconsin won't let you have a mortgage license if you got collections, a charge-off, even those from a divorce, a judgment especially, unless you're got in the payment plan. But guess what? those states that would not give me a license after I filed bankruptcy, no questions, I got my license within 30 days because it's a federal law, you know.
And so if I have, I know that your office is Illinois, but you live in Wisconsin.
I live in Wisconsin. We're licensed in Wisconsin.
Okay, and so you're able. This is a question I know the answer to, but you're, just to clarify for our clients and our friends, you're able to help people in Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
And tell me, if someone files bankruptcy, this month, they don't own a home, but they've always dreamed of owning a home. How soon after they file bankruptcy should they reach out to you?
Well, they should reach out right away. That way I can coach them exactly what we need to do. Now, on the Chapter 13, normally it's a 5-year repayment plan. A lot of people don't realize that after 12 months into a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you can qualify for an FHA or VA loan. The bankruptcy doesn't have to be discharged, okay, with trustee approval and with a 580 credit score. 3.5% down payment. You can go down to 500, but anything under 580 down to 500, you need a 10%. Now, the answer to your question, sir, there's no waiting period after Chapter 13 discharge. After Chapter 7, there's a 2-year waiting period after the Chapter 7 discharge date for an FHA VA loan. USDA requires 3 years. Conventional is 4 years. Now, I'm getting too technical here, so I'll just stick with the basics. Non-QM loans, you file bankruptcy or you have a foreclosure, I can get you into a house the next day, but you need 30% down payment. So if you got the money, or there's no waiting period with a non-QM loan. That's 30% down.
Right. And for our clients that are in Chapter 7 or Chapter 13, even, if someone's been discharged next week or discharged today, what I've been doing is I refer them to you and you have a conversation with them, because it might be to qualify for an FHA loan, let's say 2 years, but 2 years goes really fast. And it's really important that after bankruptcy, they have their ducks in a row, that their credit report is cleaned up, that the judgments are satisfied. And it's my understanding that your team will, in concert with my team, actually help people to get on their feet that way. Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. For us I always tell people here, we always guide people. We don't take notes. We have to call them back or we're going to harass you. Okay. We tell them exactly what to do. Even the day you file bankruptcy, even though you can't qualify until a year later, we'll give you instructions. These folks, they remember and they always call us. They can call us 7 days a week. No problem at all. So it's good that you prepare yourself starting day one. The most we don't charge. We charge zero. It's legal for us to charge any fees, whatever, but we will guide you the right way. And you don't have to even go with us. You can go with your local bank. That's fine. Okay. We like to spread the word, so, and that's why you can Google us. We got phenomenal reviews, we are the #1 producing branch here in Nexo. So.
And then if people wanted to reach you, what's the best way to reach you?
They can call me 7 days a week. Call me on my toll-free number. You can visit my website, GustonCho.com. You can text me 7 days a week on my cell. It's all, on my website. And if there's no such thing as a stupid ass question. The only dumb question is not asking the question, so.
Right.
And the more the basic guidelines, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. What we'll show you is you're not going to have any stress, proper expectations, so.
And so just to clarify, if you have a mortgage question, if you haven't filed bankruptcy and you're thinking about filing bankruptcy, if you filed bankruptcy and you're done, if you're in a bankruptcy, as a service to our clients, I just want everyone to know that Guston is available to talk to you for no charge. and we'll help coach you to get you where you want to go. So if you've been denied a loan, you've been denied 10 loans, call Guston. He's going to help you figure a way to make it happen.
If you, if one comment, sir, if you have a favorite loan officer, you want to work with them, no problem. I'll talk a lot, being a loan officer, not everybody, I handle the roughest of the rough deals. I got loan officers 30 years in the business that come and work for me, but they don't know what we're doing. Okay. So if you still want to work with your loan officer, okay, 30% of my viewers on my website are loan officers. So I'd be more than happy to help them, teach them the guideline, where to go, what to do, because I'm not telling you what you want to hear. Whatever I say, whatever's on my blogs are deals that we have done from beginning to end multiple times. So
awesome.
Oh, one last thing here, sir. If you guys are homeowners and you're in a Chapter 13, home prices have skyrocketed. Most people don't realize what kind of equity they have in your home. So if you're in a Chapter 13, we do a lot of Chapter 13 buyout, which is a cash out refinance during a Chapter 13, where we get you the cash out to buy out your Chapter 13, and you get it discharged in 2 or 3 years versus 5.
Right. And so again, if you want to reach Guston, you can reach him at his website at GustonCho.com. That's GUSTANCHO.com. Or you can call him on his cell. And what's that best number?
Area code 262-716-8151. 262-716-8151.
Okay. The other thing is, if you want to reach Guston, you can do so through our office also. I don't think we have the link set up on our website yet at millerlaw.com to connect with Guston, but it should be up there soon. But you can always call us at 414-326-9231, 414-326-9231. If you are a current client, or if you're looking or interested in having us help you get rid of your debts and get you back to a 720 credit score, check out our website, millerlaw.com. Give us a call, 414-326-9231. Guston, I can't thank you enough for your friendship, your commitment to helping our clients, and just the great attitude that you have, that smile, that can-do attitude. And I really enjoy you, and I just wish you the best of luck in everything you do. You deserve it.
Well, I appreciate you, your staff, and I mean what I say. It's been 2019, going on 3 years. You have helped me literally change my life, my family's life. I want to share my story, that there's a lot of you out there. I know it's like, I know I have to file bankruptcy, but what will my friends say? What will my family say? Forget the pride. It's a win-win situation. Like Mr. Miller said, there might be some other options out there. There wasn't any other option for me. All right. So, it's a case-by-case scenario, and Mr. Miller will go above and beyond. Now, if you have any questions or comments that you have to make on Mr. Miller's website, I'll be more than happy to answer them as well, too. So
you're awesome. Have a great day. Enjoy the beautiful day, and we'll be in touch soon.